Hey guys, Yasker here. I am back, and for those that don't know, I was in London for the Team USA vs. Team Europe Battlefield 4 Showdown on the Xbox One, featuring maps from Second Assault, one of the new DLCs coming up for Battlefield 4. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be making videos yet again. So if you haven't seen the Battlefield 4 Showdown footage, you can check it out at the links below. So here it goes, spoiler alert, Team USA won, hooray! And we played 3 maps total. We played the new version of Caspian Border, which is really cool and quite different from Battlefield 3. We played Flood Zone, which was on Conquest. We played Caspian on Conquest as well. And then we played the railway map on Obliteration. So 32 versus 32 for the first 2 Conquest maps, and then Obliteration, 16 versus 16 on the railway map. It was a lot of fun, but not without controversy. So I've been reading some of the comments here and there. A lot of people thought Team Europe was just going to dominate Team USA before this event took place, and yet we walked away 3-0. So what happened? I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the controversial issues that came up about our victory, as well as some of the tactics and strategies that we went into this match in the first place. So first and foremost, this is not a real tournament in the sense of it's all pro players, and sure, they sort of advertised it as something where it was the best of the best. Well, not really. It was basically, in the golfing world, it's called a pro-am. It's a combination of professionals and amateurs. In this case, we had a lot of people from different Battlefield communities. We had people from YouTube. We also had a few pro players as well. And in this, it was a very wide range of skills that we had within the team. We had guys that were phenomenal in a given role that they could do. Others, such as myself, who don't play much Xbox, I had to play a little bit more of a passive role because, frankly, I'm not that good compared to these guys on these consoles. But I still put in some effort to try to learn it and go from there. So first and foremost, let's talk about team composition. When both these teams were formed, they were formed very quickly for this event, mostly with various community stakeholders and YouTubers in mind as the primary players. Team Europe formatted very quickly with a combination of players from a number of different European countries, including some from the competitive Xbox scene in Europe. Team USA was a little more haphazard in this. I managed to submit a bunch of competitive Xbox players to be considered, along with all the other people that would normally be considered those that are active within the Battlefield community. And we were lucky enough to get 5 players from the Xbox competitive community. Of the competitive Xbox guys invited, we had 2 guys from Epsilon, 2 guys from Iconic, and 1 individual who a lot of people said was a pop star, but actually has competitive experience, plays for Team Rage in Call of Duty, and that was Compact Killer. The 2 guys from Epsilon were Cheney and Hulk, Cheney being a great infantry player, Hulk being a very, very good jet pilot. The 2 guys from Iconic were Payne X and Wallee. Payne X was amazing when it came to his abilities of helicopter, whereas Wallee was really, really good on the tank. Really quite amazing. To watch all these players play was really quite incredible. We also had Ice Viper as well, who is a popular YouTuber, but also incredibly good in the tanks. He was one of our secondary tank guys as well. These guys, these 6 guys, allowed us to dominate in the air and dominate on the ground vehicles. It really was quite amazing to see them play because they were showcasing the kind of skill that I see on the PC realm, but on console. And it was really awesome to see them play, and you could see from the spectator experience how good they were at executing. And all of them were dominant, all of them going 2 to 3 KDRs, not going down. Now, we supported them with very good players to be part of their career. We wanted to accentuate their abilities. We wanted to reinforce their strengths and try to minimize our weaknesses. Let's talk about our weaknesses. One of the things that was mentioned during the showcase was on Team Europe, they said that the AC Bongos said that his infantry guys were better than ours. I don't think that he had the best infantry guys per se. I think Epsilon Cheney was by far the best infantry in that match. But I do agree with them. I think when you look at the average composition of our infantry guys compared to their infantry guys, the Europeans were, in fact, a bit better. But luckily, we were able to capitalize on our strengths of vehicle play and maintain our bleed in that respect and end up winning as well. Now, let's talk about some other controversy in mind. So first and foremost, planning. We had this team locked down about 2-3 weeks before the event took place, and me and the level BF guys worked together to create a series of strategies for the maps that we thought we were going to be playing. And from there, assign squad leaders and lines of communication and what their roles were and contingency plans. I think are all the other things that we would normally see with these organized 32 versus 32s that I've done in the past. And you may say, well, wait a minute, how do you know what maps were being played? Well, we really didn't. We knew that Second Assault was going to be played primarily for this game. Second Assault is a DLC full of Battlefield 3 maps. There are 4 maps possible: Firestorm, Metro, Gulf of Oman, and then finally Caspian Border, the one that we actually played. So we created strategies and created squad roles for each of these players and each of the squads for each of these maps. We didn't know which one we were going to play, but we knew we were going to play at least one of them. Now, it turned out that we played 2 traditional Battlefield 4 maps, new ones that we had to come up with strategies on the fly for, but in the end, we were able to get our squad composition down so well that we knew certain squads were really good at attacking, some were really good at defending, and some were really good at keeping tanks up, some were not that good at all. I was actually in a not-so-good squad, and so I was in the back for the entire 2 matches that I played. I didn't play the obliteration map. That was only 16 versus 16, so we put all our best players on that given map, so all the guys who are not console-focused didn't play. And that's how I wanted to be. I wanted to have our best players play. Now, taking in mind this was just an exhibition match, and as such, it wasn't something that actually meant anything. We didn't win anything. There wasn't, some grand prize. We didn't get Xbox Ones or anything around those lines. Instead, it was all really just for fun. And I wanted to showcase that in these 32 versus 32 games, while you can have better players, and better players certainly do matter, there is an element of organization and roles and other things around those lines that actually can have an impact. And we shared all of our strategies with Major Nelson, who did actually spend some time with us prior to the matches to talk about what his role was going to be, how was he going to play, and what he needed to and to not do. We provided him, we showed him maps, like actually printouts of the maps and what the potentials could be for the maps, what areas he needs to focus on and not focus on. And I'll tell you, having played Commander now for Battlefield 4, it's actually quite overwhelming. If you don't know what you're doing or you haven't had a lot of practice with it, it can be very daunting. But Major Nelson did a fantastic job with what he was able to sort of jump into the action and help our team when it counted. And so he was actually very helpful in being able to contribute to our victory here. In this same respect, though, we had some controversy. So as an example, one of the biggest ones was the flare glitching. On the 3rd map on Flood Zone, Widgety Bear, who's a very, very good helicopter pilot, and for those that haven't watched already, please watch his stream on Twitch TV/Widgety Bear. He was doing what's called flare glitching, which is you fire your flares off, you switch seats back and forth, and then you have, if you had to start with 6 flares, you'll pop up 2 flares, you'll switch seats, now you'll have 4 flares. And then you'll regenerate some flares in the process as well. It essentially gives you multiple chances to dodge missiles. And we actually went into this, we went to the production staff and went to the tournament organizers and we said, hey, this is a glitched thing. We would like to know if it's banned or not, because it's something that is a concern, and if it's not banned, we're going to use it. And we're going to use it really for 2 reasons. The more cynical of us who are watching this right now may say, well, use it because you want to win. And when you watch Widgety's stream, or Widgety's perspective during the live stream, he's dodging a lot of missiles. So it's not as if it wasn't ineffective. But we also did it because we knew that this event is not one that we're getting a lot of money or we're getting a bunch of prestige. It was just a fun exhibition event to showcase that you can actually do 64-man battles on the new Xbox One, which you can. And I'll tell you from a personal perspective, Having played nothing but PC my entire Battlefield experience, beyond the controller differences, I really couldn't tell much of a difference in terms of how the gameplay was. The graphics were near identical. Sure, there was some slight differences here and there, but I'll tell you, it was beyond the controller. It felt just like regular Battlefield, and that's what was so cool about it. But we wanted to take this opportunity also to highlight the fact that this glitch existed in the beta, and it's something that needs to be fixed. And it really does. Now, I know DICE has a lot of different things that they want to do, and I'm by no means suggesting that this needs to be prioritized beyond all the other things that people have listed out. But it is something that does need to be addressed eventually, because it is a glitch. It does need to be fixed, and hopefully they do fix it. And that's all we're sort of hoping for in the end. Beyond all of this, we had a lot of fun in the process, met a lot of the really cool European guys and made some good relationships, really showing them, describing to them that that there is esports potential out there, both the U.S. and the European communities. And what was so cool about it was that regardless of whether our players that were playing with us had a lot of competitive experience, not everyone had the right attitude. Everyone was enthusiastic and wanted to play. Everyone wanted to win and have fun. And in the end, we accomplished all that, which was very heartening, and something that I hope that we do more events like this in the future, where we get a variety of players with a variety of skill sets and a variety of abilities, get them together and showcase that you can still have these tough, intense, fun, amazing battles, regardless of whether or not you're a top player who's put in thousands of hours versus those that are a little more casual. Nevertheless, I'll be doing more Battlefield videos in the future. I'm really looking forward to doing some Battlefield 4 casting, and you got to give it up for Alex and Ben, who casted the Showdown event as well. They did a very good job, as well as Roy the Poley Roland, who does Battlefield 4 videos. He's actually controlling the spectator cam the entire time, and that was really cool as well. His ability to catch action at the right angles was really quite incredible. Nevertheless, though, hope you guys enjoyed this and the footage behind me. I'll see you guys later. Pro players as well, and in this it was a very wide range of skills that we had within the team. We had guys that were phenomenal in a given role that they could do. Others, such as myself, who don't play much Xbox, I had to play a little bit more of a passive role because, frankly, I'm not that good compared to these guys on these consoles. But I still put in some effort to try to. Hey guys, the Asker here. I am back, and for those that don't know, I was in London for the Team USA vs. Team Europe Battlefield 4 Showdown on the Xbox One, featuring maps from Second Assault, one of the new DLCs coming up for Battlefield 4. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be making videos yet again. So if you haven't seen the Battlefield 4 Showdown footage, you can check it out at the links below. So here it goes. Spoiler alert, Team USA won map. It was a lot of fun, but not without controversy. So I've been reading some of the comments here and there. A lot of people thought Team Europe was just going to dominate Team USA before this event took place, and yet we walked away 3-0. So what happened? I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the controversial issues that came up about our victory, as well as some of the tactics and strategies that we went into this match in the first place. So first and foremost, this is not a real tournament in the sense of it's all pro players, and sure, they sort of advertised it as something where it was the best of the best. Well, not really. It was basically, in the golfing world, it's called a pro-am. It's a combination of professionals and amateurs. In this case, we had a lot of people from different Battlefield communities. We had people from YouTube. We also had a few on, hooray, and we played 3 maps total. We played the new version of Caspian Border, which is really cool and quite different from Battlefield 3. We played Flood Zone, which was on Conquest. We played Caspian on Conquest as well. And then we played the Railway map on Obliteration. So 32 versus 32 for the first 2 Conquest maps, and then Obliteration, 16 versus 16, on the Railway.